What if everything you built your life around, your career, your identity, your passion, was shattered in one brutal second? In June 2023, rodeo champion Jacobs Crowley hit the dirt at the Greeley Stampede and didn't get back up. His spine broken, 5 vertebrae destroyed. Doctors said he might never ride again. He gave away his rodeo gear, walked away from the sport he loved, and then he got a tattoo of a dead tree across his stomach, his old back number etched into the trunk. But that moment didn't break him. It lit something inside him he didn't even know was still there. What happened next would defy every medical prediction, every personal doubt, and every limit he was told not to cross. Now ask yourself, would you risk paralysis to chase a dream? How does a man with a reconstructed spine not only return to competition, but win huge money doing it? Would you climb back onto a bronc with a spine full of steel just to feel alive again? This isn't just another comeback story. This is the story of a cowboy who stared death in the eyes and dared it to do its worst. It all started back in college. Jacobs and his roommate, Clint Hoppin, were studying late at Texas A&M when they spotted something outside the library window. Both were rodeo cowboys working towards engineering degrees, burning the midnight oil between classes and competitions. One evening, they looked out at the lonely dead tree outside, and Clint had an idea. What if that tree had one piece of fruit, symbolizing Matthew 7:19, which says, "Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire." Fast forward to June 2011, when Jacobs qualified for his first NFR. He marked the moment with an 8-hour tattoo featuring the dead tree, a single fruit, and his back number 83 etched onto the base of the trunk. This was a permanent reminder for him to bear good fruit, and he did. But here's what makes Jacobs' story even more incredible. He was already a champion before he even got to college. Back in high school, he qualified for the Texas High School Rodeo Finals 4 times and made it to the National High School's Final Rodeo in 2006. This kid was destined for greatness from the start. Jacobs earned a legitimate industrial and systems engineering degree from Texas A&M while competing at the highest level of rodeo. This wasn't an easy program. Most people struggle to excel at one thing, but he dominated both the classroom and the arena at the same time. His success peaked in 2011 when he won the College National Finals Rodeo as a senior. But even before turning fully professional, Jacobs had already proven himself by winning the Cowboys Professional Rodeo Association (CPRA) championships in both 2008 and 2009. That's back-to-back titles when he was still semi-professional. His father, Kelly, worked as a medical engineer, while his mother, Kathy, worked as a social worker. Together, they raised a son who could design industrial systems and ride bucking horses with equal skill. Jacobs became legendary for his dominance of the PRCA Texas Circuit. He won the PRCA Texas Circuit Saddle Bronc Riding Championship 11 times from 2012 to 2014 and 2016 to 2023. The Texas Circuit represents the heart of cowboy country, where competition is fierce. Almost everyone can ride broncs in Texas. To dominate that circuit for 11 straight years borders on the supernatural. But it wasn't just the Texas Circuit where Jacobs dominated. He also claimed 2 Ram National Circuit Finals rodeo titles in 2014 and 2017, proving he could win at the highest circuit level nationwide. Jacobs collected wins at places like Crockett, Bandera, and Weatherford, small towns most people have never heard of, but they all knew Jacobs Crowley. Sterling, his brother, was right there with him, winning the Texas Circuit Championship in 2024. These brothers took turns at being the best in their home state. Every cowboy dreams of one perfect season. For Jacobs, 2015 was that season where everything clicked. But before then, Jacobs had already proven he could dominate at the NFR level. In 2013, he placed in 4 rounds and won his first NFR average title, moving him from 5th to 4th in the final world standings with earnings of $179,446. That average title showed he wasn't just a one-ride wonder. He was consistent when it mattered most. Going into the NFR in 2015, Jacobs was already having an excellent season, and he didn't just show up, he dominated. He placed in 7 out of 10 rounds, won his second average title, and walked away with the World Championship. He earned $276,247 that year, serious money for a saddle bronc rider back in 2015. The average title at the NFR isn't about one good ride. It's about consistency over 10 rounds, like being the most reliable player throughout the entire playoff series. No off nights, no mistakes, just pure execution when it matters most. Now, while 2015 was the peak, 2016 was the valley that almost broke his heart. Jacobs came back hungrier than ever and had an incredible season, earning $262,648, but he finished runner-up in the world standings, losing the world championship by less than $3,000 to Zeke Thurston. But the beauty of rodeo is there's always next year, always another chance to prove yourself. Jacobs had already shown he could reach the top once. The question was whether he could get back there. If you're enjoying this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what happens next in Jacobs' journey. It gets even more interesting. Throughout his career, Jacobs accumulated over $2.1 million in earnings, making him one of the most successful saddle bronc riders in PRCA history. All that he achieved with a great support system at home. Jacobs married Lauren Crowley, who is also a professional barrel racer competing in the PRCA circuit. Lauren comes from a rodeo family. Her father, Jerry Cox, was a steer roper, so she understands the demands and sacrifices that come with professional rodeo life. In 2017, the Crowley family welcomed their son, Corey Dean Crowley, adding another dimension to Jacobs' life beyond the arena. Lauren travels with Jacobs when possible, though, as she jokes, when the van's full with his traveling partners, she heads home. The couple relocated from Bourne to Stephenville, Texas, where Jacobs has been busy fixing up their place between competitions. Beyond rodeo, Jacobs has diverse interests that keep him grounded. He plays guitar, a skill he learned as a teenager from his buddy Red Sheehan. He also enjoys singing and writing songs and stays in shape through CrossFit and MMA training. What makes the Crowley life more amazing is that Sterling was right there through most of this journey. Having your little brother qualify for the NFR 7 times while you make 10 straight trips isn't a coincidence. It's genetics mixed with serious hard work. From 2016 to 2020, both Crowley brothers were fixtures at the NFR. It wasn't just about individual success. These brothers traveled together, competed at the same rodeos, and pushed each other to be better. That's the kind of iron and sharpen iron relationship that creates champions. On June 25th, 2023, a date that nearly ended one of rodeo's greatest cowboys, Jacobs was riding at the Greeley Stampede when he got pinned against the chute. His T12 vertebrae didn't just fracture, it burst. The damage extended to his T11 and L1 vertebrae, creating a spinal injury that would sideline most athletes permanently. The surgery was extensive, fusing 5 vertebrae. That's 5 levels of his spine bolted together. Most people would be happy just to walk normally again, let alone think about getting on another bucking horse. Instead of falling into depression or denial, Jacob started planning for life after the rodeo. He began giving away his gear, focusing on business ventures, and accepting his role as chairman of the PRCA Board of Directors. For 2 years, the rodeo world missed Jacobs Crowley. 2 years of wondering what you might have been, of watching other cowboys chase dreams he was forced to abandon. Yet during those 2 years, something was stirring. Jacobs described it as an itch he couldn't scratch. The love for what he did was still there, burning beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Then, something miraculous happened. The doctors who had essentially written his rodeo career off started seeing something unexpected. His recovery was ahead of schedule, way ahead. When they told Jacobs his back was in good condition and he could potentially return to physical activity, he immediately called Mark Eakin, head coach of the Tarleton State University rodeo team, and asked to get on one of their practice horses. That first practice ride could have been his last. His legs screamed from the unfamiliar movement, so he did it again the week after that. After 5 to 6 weeks, he gradually worked his way back, one ride at a time, listening to his body and building strength. The progression from practice to actual competition is where everything gets really good, but Jacobs didn't jump straight into the big leagues. First, he tested himself at smaller rodeos like Woodlawn Park Rodeo in Marshall, River Ranch Stampede in Dayton, and the Stockyards Pro Rodeo in Fort Worth. Jacobs wasn't setting his sights high. His brother Sterling suggested he enter Odessa, and Jacobs figured, why not? He wasn't expecting much, just another step in his gradual return. Then he climbed aboard, and boom, everything clicked. He got 85.5 points, second place, $3,268 in prize money, but more importantly, proof that he still has the skill. 85.5 points might not sound impressive to casual fans, but in saddle bronc riding, that's a money ride at most rodeos. The man who was giving away his gear less than 2 years earlier was back to collecting checks and climbing leaderboards at 36 years old with a reconstructed spine. Jacobs Crowley's comeback is more than just one man's return to competition. It's about what drives us when everything seems lost. It's about finding purpose when even your original plan gets shattered. During his recovery, Jacobs didn't just sit around waiting to heal. He threw himself into business ventures, expanded his role in rodeo leadership, and found new ways to contribute to the sport he loves. He proved that champions aren't just defined by what they do in the arena. The dead tree tattoo on his stomach took on new meaning during those dark months he wasn't riding. Sometimes you get cut down, but that doesn't mean you're finished. Sometimes getting cut down is what makes room for new growth. In Jacob Crowley's case, it's not just about the competition or nor the money. It's about proving that some things can't be broken, that some spirits refuse to quit, and that sometimes the impossible comebacks make the best stories. So now that Jacobs Crowley has proven that he can still compete at a high level, what does that mean for his future? Will he try to make another NFR run? Will he focus on mentoring younger riders? Will his spine hold up for a full season? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more videos like this.